Hello, and welcome to a video I've been wanting to make for a little while now, actually. This is also a response to Z-Manzilla. He gave me an idea by doing this, so I'm going to go ahead and make a top 10 list of what I really want to see in SnapMap and what SnapMap really needs. So here's my top 10 list of things SnapMap needs. Number 10, remove snap points. They're not very reliable. They kind of suck, and they're easy. When the game first came out, they were easily exploitable. Also, considering the fact that there's still stuff that's locked behind certain barriers for some reason, I don't know why. I've heard that the only way to unlock that stuff is to do the challenges, but like anyone has time to do all of that stuff. There's just almost no way. If anyone has done it, no, kudos to you. I have not been able to pull that off. Some of it requires multiplayer, and yeah, who does multiplayer in here anyway? And I think what they should do, remove snap points and just give us a straight up XP system. You know, a system that basically just lets us level up and unlock the stuff that we really want to unlock. And basically give us all kinds of other stuff, like even unlock runes. And, you know, even give us loadouts if you want to do that. Just, you know, in case we want to pick that up for our system, if we want to do that for our map. This helps out a lot because it gives people a better reason to strive for something rather than just sitting there trying to grind for snap points the whole time. Instead, you're leveling up and unlocking things on your own. That helps out tremendously, and if we had more stuff like that in here, that'd be fantastic, and it would definitely get people more engaged with SnapMap. Okay, so that's number 10. Number 9, matchmaking playlists. For the love of God, we need that in SnapMap. We need it so badly because, see, what they need in here was basically a playlist system to where you had certain genres to pick from. You could pick a deathmatch genre, and you just hit, you know, matchmaking, and it'll put you in a match with deathmatching. We're playing a deathmatch. Because if you got that, more people would sync up, more people would be playing matches together. It definitely helps fill in the void for, you know, not having any bots in here. Or at least that way we can at least, you know, sync up with each other and enjoy other maps and try other creative ideas. That goes a long way, and that was something we really needed from day one. And why it's not in here, I have no clue. But that would be something that we definitely need. So, yes. Number 9, matchmaking playlists. Number 8, more DLC content. Now, what this means basically is that if you look at the DLC for the multiplayer, we got some of it in here. We got all the armor options and the colors, but we don't have the extra weapons, and we don't have like the maps and stuff like that. Especially the maps. Like I don't know what they're thinking, but those maps we can do so much with. We can make single player maps out of those. We can make better multiplayer maps out of those. That is definitely a big deal. If we had that stuff in here, you will be seeing better maps and better stuff going on, and even better storylines, because people can imagine better stuff when they got more stuff to work with. And with all the DLC content, we're not going to get better stuff to work with, and we're going to keep seeing maps that are okay or somewhat good, and really looking at people who could just knock it out of the ballpark when they really go off the wall with it. So yeah, number 8, more DLC content. Number 7, bots. I don't know why this wasn't in here. We need it. That's why it's higher than the matchmaking part. Bots make a big difference in these maps because you can make a multiplayer map or even a single player map that requires cooperative, and you can just program AI or the bots to assist you, and they work off the same rules, the same everything else. And you can have these missions to where if you can't find anyone else to play with online, or if your friends aren't on or something like that, you can at least have these enjoyments with bots. And you know, you can just, even if it's just like 4 bots in one map, even if it's just that, that's better than nothing. And it's a lot better than, you know, sitting on a map with nothing to do except shooting the demons the whole time. And while demons are fun, don't get me wrong, it doesn't match the same effect as having, you know, bots in a multiplayer match, because you know, you can only do so much with demons. They're fun, but there's only so much you can do with them. And on the number 6, bigger grid and limits. We need a bigger grid. if you go back to like the older engines with this stuff, you can make a grid that's absolutely massive. You can make massive open worlds with the older engines, and you can do it pretty effectively without straining the engine too much. But it also taught the players to be careful what they did. You couldn't just go off the wall and make maps that were super massive with not much to do. You just couldn't do it. And here you really can't do it. You just can't expand that much. And with the limits, it just slows things down. I know they do it for the console versions, but these consoles are more powerful than they think they are. And they got to optimize this so that they can actually get more stuff in here. And even if the demon limit gets expanded by maybe 8 extra demons, you get up to maybe from 12 to 20, it's still a lot better than what we got. Because then we can have some really good firefights and actually fill up these maps with more stuff. And hell, we can even have massive open worlds because of this. And on top of that, we can also get vehicles in here. That'd be really cool. I mean, if they could give us just two, like a hover bike, which would just, we can move around like a normal FPS controls, but has guns on the front of it, so we can have a little fun with that. And maybe we can get like a Warthog type of vehicle in here for 4 guys to sit in. That'd be great if we had that for some, bigger stuff. And on top of that, get bigger modules in here. Ones that fill up pretty much the entire grid with massive areas for us to run around in. If we had that, there would be a lot more stuff to do, and people would make much better maps. We won't have to rely on the damn limits and try to make custom-made maps the whole time. And while making custom maps is fun, don't get me wrong, it's still a big hindrance because not everyone's going to be able to do that. Moving on to number 5, in-game saving. It knows how to do this. They've done it before. I don't know what's going on. They can easily make an in-game saving system that can just put your save file in your console from whatever map you're on, saves that spot. And then, because some of these maps are long, especially some of these campaigns, they are really long. And not everyone has time to just, goof around the whole time and, go through like a 3-hour campaign or hell, even an 8-hour campaign. Not everyone has time to do that. And we don't have to load up a long map, like an hour or 2-hour long map, just to pick up where we left off at. Sometimes we just want to pick up from the exact spot we were at, or maybe a certain save point that was in that level. That's what we really want. We want to do that. And it really has to put something like that in here so that we can at least go through these campaigns and enjoy them all the way through instead of just cutting off, like an hour in or something like that because, we're tired. We don't want to keep doing this. And that's number 5. Number 4, easy gameplay tiles. This is, I can't stress this enough. There's only 2 gameplay tiles to set up in here. One is classic and the other one is survival. That is it. We've got nothing else in here. We need more simple tiles in a certain section. I guess they can call it easy setup or easy gameplay, to where you just put a tile in there and it'd be for deathmatch, team deathmatch, RPG, survival, horde mode, zombie mode, all kinds of stuff like that. We just put the tile in, you go to the properties of it, and all the options are right there. It's pretty simple in setup, and you can just set up the way you want, start playing right away. Sure, it's not going to be as custom as you make your own gameplay from all the other stuff in here, but it'd be something to get people into a bit more easily, and they can start making stuff that's fun. And they can make a map much more quickly, and just go in and have themselves a good time. That's all they really need. We don't need much more than that. And it pains me that they don't have stuff like that in here yet. So yeah, in-game, easy gameplay tiles. We need those in here, like ASAP. That'd be a major game changer. And of course, number 3. This is the one everyone's been asking for, left, right, and sideways. The mega bosses from the single-player campaign. The Cyber Demon and the Spider Mastermind. We need those 2 in here. And, I'll throw the Shield Brothers in there too, as much as, we don't see those guys and people don't talk about them as much. They're still fun to play with. And there's still some people who want them in their campaigns. There's so many people on here who have, episode 2 and episode 3 campaigns, even episode 4 campaigns, that they'll never finish because the bosses are not in here. There's no Cyber Demon, so you can't finish episode 2. And there's no Spider Mastermind, so you can't finish episode 3. So there's nothing we can do. And you definitely can't finish episode 4. Some people are trying, though. And props to them for making them pretty close to the originals, but it's still not enough. We have to get those bosses in here so we can finish these campaigns. And there's people on here who still want to finish, the original Doom campaign with all the modern stuff. They can't do it because the bosses ain't in here. And we need those bosses. We need those in here to really flesh out content. We can't stress that enough. And then finally, at number 2, single player content. All of the single player content, not just the bosses. I put the bosses in their own section because we can still get those at the single player content eventually. We need all the weapon mods, all the levels, all of the voice acting, all of the extra characters. Hell, even get Samuel Hayden and Olivia Pearson here. Get all that stuff in here. That is a big plus. We need those in here because some of those levels we really want to use. We want to tell our own campaigns, change the levels around, tell it in a different way, make it more like the classic version. Mix the multiplayer and single player levels together and actually make really long campaigns that reflect the original game, or maybe even the sequel, Doom 2. And it's a crying shame that none of that's in here. We need that stuff because, again, they did this in the past. They've made that stuff in these engines. Why is it not here? It belongs here. And if we had stuff like that in here, you'd see much, much better Snapmap campaigns going on. People put much more effort into them, and they can actually make these maps a bit more easily and actually have more fun with it. So that's number 2, more single player content. Finally, number 1. This is the biggest pet peeve for me, at least. Faster load times. It's a crime that this game takes so long to load up, and why it doesn't get looked at that much. People start the load times, and then they wonder, why is it stopping at 25%? Why do I have to sit through this again? And usually they end up shutting the game off and just saying, forget it, I'm not going to sit through this. It happens more often than you think it does, and that has to change. Now, I got a feeling they might be able to pull it off, and the reason why is because with the multiplayer update, if you notice the multiplayer, it took about 20 to 30 seconds to load up the multiplayer before the big update. After the big update, it loads up immediately. It just needs to take a few seconds to connect. That's it. If they can do that for Snapmap, at least get the load times down to about 30 seconds or less. At least get it down to that. Just to load up the Snapmap in general. If they can do that and get the load times much smaller, that will be the number 1 thing we need. Because even if they pass all the other stuff, that's the one thing we really, really need. We need to get those load times down dramatically. It can't be anything else than that. Everything below that, I can deal without. But those load times, God, we got to get those load times down. And that is my top 10 list for things that Snapmap needs. At least what I think it needs personally. And I've listened to the community as well. And leave your comments below what you think Snapmap needs as well. My opinion doesn't always matter. You guys matter too. We all play this and we all enjoy it. So with that being said, thank you for watching, and you all take care.